Hello and welcome back to ELT Under the Covers, and we are doing another episode of ELT React where we as English language teaching professionals, we look at some of your clips or movie clips, TV show clips, what have you, of teaching scenes normally related to English, but we can sometimes go a bit beyond that. Now, quick introduction. I'm Neil of Team Teacher, and I'm co-hosting today with the myth, the man, the lingua legend, Rich.
Sup guys? YouTube.com Professor Rich. Daily tips for your daily life struggles.
If they're related to English.
That's right. If it's related to English and you're studying English language.
Now, today we are venturing further afield with our clips, and we're going to a different continent that we've never ever touched upon before. We're actually going to Africa. So we have some clips. They're more comedy-based clips.
You've got to play that song as soon as you say Africa, just in the background. Da, 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 Africa. Actually, it'll be copyright, won't it? Never mind.
These clips they're comedy clips, so we might not get so much in the way of good or bad teaching practice, but we can kind of look at maybe the culture around learning English within this continent. So it's going to be an interesting watch. Remember, before we jump into watching these and reacting to these videos, just click subscribe, give us a like, because
please
please
click subscribe. My children need to eat.
Okay.
And as it happens, they eat subscriptions, so please click subscribe.
They're going to grow up big and strong, but only if you subscribe. Okay, so let's cue up those videos. So this is Atemuda in English class. This is Atemuda in English class. I presume this is Atemuda. He's a character.
You're just coming from break and you are making noise. And then you come here. Did you do my work? No, sir. Come and take this. Read what is on your board.
He's quite strict. Very angry.
Read it. Come on, read it.
Okay. So when she said read off what's on the board, that apparently meant do choral drills of the words on the board.
Maybe that's like a cultural thing,
What a horrible way to learn. Cultural thing, my arse. I think it's just, but well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's something that happens like a lot in classrooms in which country is this? The continent of Africa, Nigeria, maybe.
I think it might be Nigeria.
Yeah, it's a total guess. That's a total guess. Could be one of about 25 different countries. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right, let's see.
It's awful, though. You're just watching this train wreck.
The sound effects that just don't seem to relate to anything, just like from nowhere.
It reminds me of Korean and Chinese.
Yeah, but like then
because they normally rouge the cheeks and they do like a single tear going down and cartoony effects as well,
that's right? Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think they're slaying. They're slaying this joke a bit, aren't they? I think we would have got the idea after like the first 4 words. This is comedy, right?
This is comedy, and it's obviously
is
comedy
it
because there's sound effects.
Student produced comedy.
He's really getting into it, at least.
Yeah. Is this just the whole video?
I think there's something else. There's got to be something else. Would you just... Imagine if you were in this class. Yeah, here's how we learn. I bring a student to the front of the class and they just read stuff off the board terribly without correction. And everyone else is expected to copy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, she's shaking her head. It's her fault. Like,
Yeah.
Just standing there shaking her head. It's been going on for 3 minutes. Honestly, I'm not sure that I make too much of the pedagogy or the comedy at this stage. Like, what's going on? Who wrote this?
Is something gonna happen?
Oh my god, I don't know if I can watch any more of this.
Why does he keep repeating tree? This literally keeps going and going and going,
I think it does, yeah. She said keep reading. Keep reading. Are you sure this is comedy?
Can we go towards more towards the end?
Yeah.
Hold on, here we go.
Oh.
So he comes in late. His punishment is to read from the board terribly without correction while everyone watches and repeats. And then he gets caned. Then shaved. What was that?
Well, that was awful. That was just awful. Awful teaching and just really not funny. Jesus. Okay, what can we say? 3.5 million views? Mate, we're in the wrong business.
I told you.
Oh my god. Look at the comments, full of joy. I can't stop myself laughing.
See, this is what I mean. I think that there's probably a whole generation with whatever country this is in that have experienced this type of teacher or this situation. So it just kind of like calls back to that probably.
Yeah, like there's some context we're missing here.
I think there's it's probably something to do with the words as well, because I kept seeing the word tree. He's like always used. I'm like, what kind of story is this with like tree and these certain words that are mispronounced must be really funny or something. You know, like the whole chicken kitchen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess having a realistic teaching take. I guess first of all, that activity was horrible. Don't know what was going on with that. The fact that she just stands there shaking his head for 5 minutes and then starts whacking him. I mean, obviously we're, I don't think anyone would advocate the use of corporal punishment in the communicative language classroom. Maybe there's someone out there doing it, but yeah, I don't think we even really need to go into that, do we? I suppose we could talk about there will be teachers that are in countries where corporal punishment's still a thing. In Vietnam, it was still a thing. In Japan, it's still a thing.
Oh, really?
They get whacked in school, and in Vietnam, it tends to be at home actually where they get whacked. Or like I heard there's some really nasty things like they twist their ears and stuff like. It just sounds awful. Like, yeah, I mean, it's easy for us, I suppose, in our kind of Western world where we're used to, no corporal punishment. But so, we kind of look at that and go, oh, God, that's horrible. But, maybe there are some reasons why they still have it, but it's not something that I could really understand. I guess I would just kind of see it as a replacement for bad teaching, really. I suppose they might argue, if you've got class sizes of 60 or whatever, maybe the only way you can control that amount of kids is with the fear of corporal punishment, but I don't know.
Well, I think that's one of the issues with this, with a lot of classroom management comes from not just good planning and good teaching practice, but also building good relationships. I mean, that's one of the things with being a parent as well. The kid's less likely to act out if you have a good relationship with them in that, they trust you, respect you, and understand or can understand, what's going on or what you need them to do, why it's bad or why it's good, yada yada. And it's I feel it's very much similar with teaching. The issue is especially like you say with 60 plus classes, is how you build solid relationships with so many children, because that's 60 plus classes plus numerous amounts of different classes all week. You're probably going to be talking to quite a lot of students. So I can understand, why they use something more of an external factor, fear and discipline, because they've not built that relationship. You're not able to actually build that relationship. And I think that's probably one of the things that's prominent with corporal punishment in the past, was because parents often really didn't have that much of a relationship with their kids. They're off
right.
Working
That's a good point. Yeah,
that's
a good point. They didn't.
Why would a kid listen to a stranger?
And it was seen as a very formal relationship as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it in the past? It wasn't really so much a personal relationship like it is now. It's more like offspring relationship. You are my offspring. You will fulfill your duties.
It's interesting how it kind of goes in cycles and stuff, because I imagine it's not something that would ever have happened, like in the hunter-gatherer kind of society.
Yeah.
It would have all just kind of been like clinging on and really close, but then we have this whole butler, go take these children to wash and stuff and all that. But I think there's a whole bunch of dynamics, but I think that's probably where it lingers from, in my opinion. But it's interesting to see if this is so popular in this African continent, this kind of this comedy, that that might be coming from something, that there was that kind of culture there.
I think I will charitably assume that it is, but I don't know.
Should we have a look at the next clip then and see what we get from this one? EvaPhilz English teacher comedy. Best teacher in the world.
I'm just doing this for doing sake. I want you people go for this spelling bee competition and win.
Okay.
Bring the sponsorship, the scholarship, whatever ship they are going to give you. Because it took me time to prepare these words. Do you know the kind of dictionaries I use? I even use EvaPhilz dictionary. You must get these words. You make sure
He's really
that
selling the context.
3 or 2 of you should bring the sheep and the sheep, whatever sheep you are going to get. Now, group A, your word. Humble. Spell the word humble.
Humble. Humble.
Huh?
Humble. Humble.
Wrong. Bonus.
Humble. Humble.
So, 4 of you, not even one person, will spell this simple word. Group B, spell interesting.
Is this going to be the same joke as Teacher Prency, where she just spells it phonemically?
I think
Surely that must be where we're going with
Rich's
this.
lingua senses are tingling.
He's going to be like, he's going to be like humble, UMBOL or something.
We'll see.
Interesting. INTERES.
Wrong.
That's correct.
Bonus.
Interesting. INTERESTING.
Group A, your word. Spell.
What's that thing he keeps whacking?
Like a nail.
DK just looks like a big bolt, doesn't it? A big rusty bolt. Dude,
Bonus.
need to get one of those in my classroom.
HOOL. School.
I have wasted my energy preparing for all this. Group B. Spell the word business.
A lot of these African comedies seem to take a long time to get to the punchline. It's kind of like loads of like repetitive setup.
INESS.
Bonus.
BUSINE.
I don't get that.
What was with the weird laugh track then?
Now I give you the last word.
There was chicken going off earlier.
Spell the word above.
ABOVE.
Bonus.
Above. ABOVE.
So, is this what I have suffered for?
But you're
That
correct.
5 words, 4 of you, not even one, you could get. What are you going to do there? Going to disgrace me and come back. Get your pens ready and write the right words down. And then
Here we go.
And
Here we
make sure
go.
by evening you learn each word, letter by letter. The first word, humble. Write them down. Humble. HAMBOL. Humble. The second word, I said what? Interesting. Interesting.
The kids' reactions are good. I think maybe they actually aren't in on this. Maybe it's a prank or something.
Right.
The third word, school.
This is Uncle Pensary.
Simplest word you could not spell.
You called it.
School. S
Yeah.
K.
It's a lot slower though.
The fourth word, business. Business. BEC.
I mean, there's only so much you can get out of one joke, and I just don't know if you can get 6 minutes out of it. Let me guess, it's got like 4 million views or something.
ENES. Business. The last word. Most shocking. Above. Above. A. B. A. F. Above.
Uncle. I'm very sorry that I can't go for this competition. Yes. Since they are your own words, go for the spelling. Uncle, are the best teacher in the whole wide world.
Is he going to wake up from a dream? Education is the key.
A nice wholesome message at the end, at least.
Please, after subscribing,
Oh.
click on the notification bell.
Okay, so yeah, we had the Tita Prensi, but like 1 minute of Tita Prensi in 6 minutes. It's got 100,000 views. All right, fine. Wholesome message at the end about education. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, spelling bees. Let's talk about that maybe. What a joke. What's spelling bees all about? I don't get it. It's an American thing, isn't it?
Is it anything to do with English learning? Language
I
learning?
don't think so. I mean, I guess it, spelling is an aspect of English, but it's one that's becoming less and less important with spell checkers and mobile phones and all the rest of it. I remember when I first became an English teacher, I used to think, oh, my spelling's not brilliant. And I always used to get a bit cringy when I had to write a word on the board, and like I would sometimes even check it. Whereas now I openly just say to my students, oh, my spelling is not my best. When I write something on the board, I'll make sure it's correct. So I will check it, but I don't feel like I need to hide that anymore. I feel like I can just openly say, my spelling is not perfect, and yours doesn't have to be, because most people's isn't, Yeah. And I remember one time someone who I don't really highly rate as a manager at an institution which I do highly rate, once observed one of my classes and really like give me not a drubbing really, but like really made a big point about how I'd wrote becoming on the board with 2 M's, and it was like, who gives a who cares? It's not the perfect thing to do, but the way he was treating it, it was like I'd taken a dump on someone's desk. At the end of the day, it's just something on the board that's not perfect. Okay, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, the worst aspect of that, I would say, would be if one of the students finds out, checks, and then loses some confidence in the teacher because of it. I'd say that's the worst thing about it. Yeah. At the end of the day, it can just be put down to just a mistake, can't it? And mistakes do happen. Jesus, I mean, how many of these things do you actually see in the textbooks that are wrong? How many times have you come across a textbook where the solution is wrong? I mean, it happens loads compared to how many times it should happen, right? That's printed in the bloody textbook, and then I think making such a big deal out of something that's just written on the board with an extra M didn't make a lot of sense to me. And as I said, I think spelling these days, we have tools, and most of the time when we're actually writing, those tools are readily available, because most of our writing now is done on computers or on our mobile phones. So those tools are available right then, live. It's quite rare that you're actually writing, handwriting. That's when you need to spell, when you're using a pen and writing in a pad.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, often when we're doing that now, we're writing for ourselves anyway. We're not writing for someone else. So then it doesn't particularly matter, because the only place where spelling actually really matters is it's kind of a prestige, isn't it? If you make a spelling mistake, someone might judge your intelligence, or they might think that you're not, representing. It's unlikely to actually cause a comprehension issue. Mm-hmm. If you write an email and you misspell a word, it's I think most of the time the other person will know what word you meant. Even when you write another word that could be another word, I think most of the time from context they can tell that anyway. So it's purely about it's just about perception, isn't it? It's how people might perceive you. So I think the importance of spelling really has diminished a lot. I guess I think the other way is probably more important, which is being able to read and pronounce words. I think that's probably more important than active spelling, which wouldn't really be that's totally different than a spelling bee, really, isn't it? It's being able to recognize words, because I think it's kind of easier, isn't it, to recognize words than to spell them, and to be able to pronounce them. So I think, that's something that is useful to be able to do.
Yeah, there's a great movie, documentary, I think it's called Spelling Bee, that follows these kids doing spelling bees. I highly recommend it to anyone watching. I mean, they have to learn these words, but also they do learn the meaning and the context of the word, because one of the things that they can request to do when they say, oh, business, they can ask, can you put that in a sentence for me, please? So they can identify what word it is. So there must be an element where they do learn the words, learn how to kind of use them along with their spelling. There's probably a whole bunch of using a whole bunch of mnemonic techniques to kind of remember spelling. All the
I think it's just a
kind of jazz.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it is, really, isn't it? It's just a way of kids showing off. You know, and for some reason they like it in America compared to, I don't know, mental arithmetic tests, which
I think that
arguably have more utility.
There's a place to learning words, like day by day, but I think it has to be kind of a deliberate practice. Like I've known some teachers that have set their student to just, you know, like go read pick a couple of words from the dictionary, or they would have the word of the day and stuff like that. Do you know, even native English speakers, you can buy the toilet paper where you pull off a little piece and it's got a word on there, and you know how you use it to grow your vocabulary and such. So I think there's places for it, but as a means,
it's a bit random, isn't it?
A means to learn English, no. But you know, if you're looking to kind of like grow your vocabulary by throwing in a word of the day of like some adjective or something, I think it might be fun for everyone. You know, that could be like your game for the day. Oh, how can I fit this word into the conversation?
Just a bit of fun for everyone rather than a way of learning English per se, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously
we've literally played these games where we're like, okay, we've decided on a word that we've got to say in a conversation with some stranger, you know, as part of like a drinking game and stuff. You know, it's fun.
Right. Yeah, that kind of it can be fun. But then for language learning, you know, we're concerned about the context, aren't we? So
that's the issue.
You know, context is king. So you know, you need a just pulling out random words for language learning. It's not the most efficient way, which is why, you know, spelling activities might not be the most useful either. Sometimes people use them as games. I guess there is an element of challenge to it, and therefore it is kind of an easy game. You know, you say you've got a couple of minutes left at the end of a class. You just got a bunch of vocabulary that you've done in the class today. You wipe it off the board, and then you go, right, what words have you learned today? Banana. Okay, fantastic. How do you spell it? And then you know, and there's a couple of elements to that, I think. You know, I mean, they're practice. It's good for sort of lower level students because they get into practice saying the letters. Yeah. It's amazing how many students you find at upper intermediate and above who don't know how to correctly pronounce English letters. Yeah. You know, like they might still be calling like, I don't know, G like G, and you know, H. So many people say stuff like atch or hotch, you know, or something. They still haven't learned that it's H. Because you don't actually say letters that much, but then they can come in handy if someone says, "Can you spell this?" kind of thing.
I always introduce it with younger learners with names, because I feel
how do you spell your name?
That's
exactly
how we do it, you know, and it's in a context, so makes sense, right?
Yeah, like I say, good little game at the end of class, just for a few extra points if you're doing that kind of point system thing, competition. You know, good with kids and teenagers. Yeah, and it's quick and easy. What have we learned today? Okay, how do you spell that? Great. Personally, I think I'd prefer to say to do something else though, like what's it mean, or can you give me an example sentence? Oh yes, I went to the supermarket and I couldn't find the bananas. Okay, whatever.
The word was outstanding. Shit.
Brilliant. The word was outstanding. That's 10 bonus points. Well done. Right. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm pretty dry on these videos now. I haven't really got anything else to say about it.
No, I don't think we learn anything about good teaching. Possibly
or
something.
good comedy. Sorry, Atemuda. I'm sure you don't give a damn with your 3.5 million views on that video anyway. So all the best and good luck to you. And I'm happy that people find that entertaining somehow. Not me.
I guess it's not for you, not for us really. But I don't know. It's interesting, and it's kind of. I want to talk a little bit about the setup as well. It's very that classic setup of small desk chairs, like in the first one, and then the all around the desk with the tutor at the head. It feels more of a throwback.
Yeah, the kind of solid wooden desks, unmovable.
Yeah. It's. I feel that there's probably a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I mean that's a resources thing, isn't it? I don't think that's necessarily a methodological choice. I think it's probably to do with money.
Yeah.
It's just it's cheap and easy to throw in wooden benches and small wooden tables, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's more expensive to have chairs and tables you can move around. Then the methodology would come into it later, I guess, because you have plenty of schools in the West with fancy equipment, but they're all still sat in rows facing the teacher.
Yeah, so it's still there's still kind of like this old structure of what a classroom should look like that just doesn't seem to go away. But yeah, it seems to be prevalent everywhere that we've kind of looked at anyhow.
Yeah.
So yeah, not that much to say in regards to teaching practice. Maybe there's some cultural aspects of learning English that we're missing out. So if you are from the African continent, you kind of understand the context why this is so funny or so relevant to you.
The first one was Ghana, apparently. If anyone's from Ghana,
okay.
If you think Atemuda is hilarious, then you can whack your comment down below.
That would be fantastic, because we're always looking to learn and to understand, because it often lends to better teaching and better practice. So drop us a comment below, or if you're a teacher and you want to talk about
that would be cool,
teaching English.
Yeah, if you're a teacher in Ghana, please send us an email. We'll have you on. eltunderthecovers@gmail.com. Go for it.
Definitely.
I would love to speak to a teacher in Ghana.
I would too. So shoot us an email at eltunderthecovers@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share and subscribe. I've been Neil of Team Teacher. Check out all my materials and stuff that you can use instantly in the classroom at teamteacherchina.com. We've got a corresponding YouTube channel, Team Teacher China, where we kind of show all our teaching practice, and Team Teacher English, where we take a lot of materials and put them into a video form that's self-study, and Team Teacher Baby, where I take all that experience and I put it into being a parent. And
put it into my son.
Into my son. That's
take that experience. I just put it into his head.
Stop crying.
Shut up.
And Rich.
Daddy, why do I have to eat this book called Practice of English Language Teaching? Keep eating.
That's ridiculous. He's got alphabet spaghetti. At least that's edible.
All right, so you can catch me on my weekly streams, youtube.com/Professor Rich. Come on down, say hello, leave a comment and all that stuff. Live streams, Fridays, Sundays, don't know, depends. I haven't fixed the time yet. I'm doing them on different days. Got one tomorrow. Well, it's tomorrow when we're recording this, which could be any time when these go out on Mondays, don't they? So probably maybe next Friday I'll have a stream after this. Maybe it'll be Sunday. Who knows? That's what's going on with me. And
so concise, so
dinner
helpful.
Dinner time.
Just check out Professor Rich on
YouTube.com, Professor Rich live streams. Boom.
There you go. Done and done. And
ELT under the covers at gmail.com if you want to come on the show.
Like,
go for it.
Share,
Subscribe.